Welcome to Hypnos Cosmos. Tonight, let the universe carry you gently into sleep. Find a comfortable place to rest. Let your body grow heavy, and let your breathing slow. There is nothing you need to do now. Nothing to solve, nowhere to be. Just this quiet voice, and a long, slow journey outward, through the very largest things there are. Close your eyes, if they are not already closed. Take one slow breath in, and let it go. And another, softer than the first. With every breath, let yourself sink a little deeper into the stillness, the way a feather sinks slowly through still and quiet air. Tonight we are going to travel outward. Not quickly, and never in a hurry, but gently, patiently, step by step, from the small and familiar things of the world all the way out to the largest structures in all of creation, things so vast that the mind cannot truly hold them, only rest quietly in their shadow, and wonder. We will drift from a single grain of sand to the whole of the observable universe, and let each step be slower and softer than the last. There is nothing to fear on this journey. Only a deepening calm, and a growing sense of how small, and how safe, and how gently held you truly are. So let us begin, slowly, and without any hurry at all. Let us begin with something small. Something you could hold in the palm of your hand. Imagine a single grain of sand. Tiny. Ordinary. So small you could lose it between your fingers. Hold it lightly in your mind for a moment, one small, pale grain, resting in the soft center of your palm. It is about as small a thing as you ever really notice. And tonight, it is where our long journey outward begins. For everything is a matter of scale. The grain of sand is enormous, if you are smaller still. Upon it, unseen, there may be dust and specks 1,000 times tinier. And the grain of sand is nothing at all, a speck beyond noticing, if you rise up high enough to see the beach it lies upon, and then the coastline, and then the whole curve of the shore vanishing into the distance. Small and large are not fixed things. They are only a matter of where you stand, and how far back you step. And tonight, we are going to step back, and back again, farther than you have ever stepped before. So let us rise up, gently, from the grain of sand. Up from the palm of your hand, up above the beach, up above the clouds, until the whole of the earth curves away beneath us, the great blue world, wrapped in its thin white veil of air, turning slowly in the dark. It is the largest thing most of us ever truly feel, the whole wide world, with its oceans and its mountains and its billions of lives. If you have ever flown high above it, or seen it from a mountaintop, you know the feeling, how vast the earth is, how endless it seems. And yet, let us keep rising. And watch how quickly the endless earth becomes small. For our journey tonight is a journey of humbling, and of comfort, all at once. Each thing we meet will make the thing before it seem small. And by the end, even the greatest things we know will have shrunk to less than that single grain of sand. But do not let that trouble you. There is nothing frightening in being small. A child is small, and sleeps soundly, held safe in a vast and gentle house. Tonight, you are that child, and the universe is that house, impossibly large, and yet, in its own quiet way, holding you softly through the dark. Let us rise higher still, up and away from the earth, out past the pale grey moon, and turn, now, toward the source of all our light and warmth. Toward our star. The sun. You have seen the sun 1,000 times, and never truly seen it, for it is far too bright to look upon, and far too large to feel. From the earth it seems a small, warm disk, no bigger than the moon, hanging in the sky. But that is only distance playing its old trick. The sun is not small. The sun is a monster of fire, so vast that it holds 99.8% of all the matter in our entire solar system. Every planet, every moon, Every asteroid and comet and grain of cosmic dust, all of it together is barely a rounding error beside the Sun. Let the true size of it settle over you, slowly. If the Sun were a hollow ball, you could pour more than 1,000,000 Earths inside it, and still have room to spare. 1,000,000 worlds like ours, each with its oceans and continents and skies, all tumble together into the belly of a single ordinary star. Its surface is a boiling ocean of fire, thousands of miles deep, with arcs of flame leaping from it larger than a dozen Earths set end to end. And it has been burning, steadily and faithfully, for 4.5 billion years, and will burn for billions more. Rest here a while, in the warmth of our star. There is something deeply comforting in its steady fire, a warmth that has held life on Earth since the very beginning, that draws the green leaves up toward the sky, that warms your face on a summer morning. It is enormous beyond imagining. And yet, as our journey will show, among the stars, our Sun is nothing special at all. It is a small star. A modest star. An ordinary yellow star, one of hundreds of billions, and far from the largest, even in its own quiet neighborhood. But it is ours, and it is faithful, and there is a gentle wonder in it worth resting upon before we drift onward. Deep in its heart, where the pressure and the heat are beyond all imagining, the Sun is quietly turning hydrogen into helium, for 1,000,000 tons of itself every second transformed into pure light, and yet it is so vast that it can afford to do this, steadily, without pause, for 10 billion years, and has scarcely reached its middle age. The light that warms your face on a spring morning began its life in that fierce heart, and then wandered, slowly, for tens of thousands of years, bouncing and drifting through the dense body of the Sun before finally reaching the surface and leaping free, to cross the dark to Earth in only 8 minutes more. The sunlight that falls upon the world is ancient light, tens of thousands of years in the making, and only the last 8 minutes of its long journey are spent crossing the gulf of space. And the Sun has been steady and faithful through the whole long story of the Earth. It shone upon the first warm seas where life began. It shone upon the age of the great reptiles, and the age of ice, and the first small fires of the first people. It has risen every single morning of your whole life, without once failing, warming the world, drawing the green things up toward the light. And it will go on, steady and faithful, for billions of years yet, until, in its old age, far in the future, it will swell into a red giant of its own, as we have seen the great stars do, and glow huge and rose-colored in the sky. But that is 5 billion years away, and there is no need to think of endings tonight. Tonight the Sun is simply resting below the horizon, keeping the far side of the world warm, and waiting, faithfully, to rise again upon your morning. Let its steady warmth hold you, even now, in the dark. It has never once failed you. It never will. Breathe with that thought, softly, as you begin to drift. The thing that fills our whole sky, that dwarfs 1,000,000 Earths, that has warmed every day of your life, is, out here among the stars, a small and gentle thing. Imagine, then, what the large things must be like. We are only just beginning. Let us drift onward, then, out among the other stars, and find some that are larger. Not all stars are alike. Some are smaller than our Sun, dim red dwarfs, cool and faint, no larger than a giant planet, burning so slowly and so frugally that they will outlast every other kind of star in the sky, shining softly on for trillions of years, long after the great bright suns have all burned out. They are the most common stars of all. Most of the stars in the galaxy are these small, quiet, patient red dwarfs, glowing dimly in the dark, the gentle embers that will still be burning when the universe is 1,000 times older than it is tonight. There is something deeply restful in them, the small, and the modest, and the slow, quietly outlasting all the grand and blazing giants. The meek, it seems, inherit the sky. And there are stranger small things still, among the stars, the quiet remnants left behind when a star dies gently. When a star like our Sun reaches the end of its life, it does not explode. It swells, and softens, and drifts its outer layers away into space, and leaves behind only its small, hot, dense core, or a white dwarf, a dying ember no larger than the Earth, and yet holding nearly the whole mass of a star, so dense that a single spoonful of it would weigh as much as a mountain. And it will sit there, that small white ember, slowly cooling, slowly dimming, for billions upon billions of years, until at last it fades to cold and dark, a quiet, gentle ending to a star's long life. And denser still are the neutron stars, the crushed hearts of the greater stars that die in fire. When a giant star collapses, its core can be squeezed so fiercely that all its matter is crushed together into a single vast atomic nucleus, a ball of pure crushed matter no wider than a small city, and yet holding more mass than our entire Sunday. So dense that a single sugar cube of its substance would weigh as much as all of humanity together. They spin, some of these, dozens or even hundreds of times each second, sweeping beams of light across the dark like the most precise lighthouses in all the universe. Tiny, and impossibly heavy, and impossibly strange, and yet, out here among the giants, almost too small to see. Rest a moment among these small and quiet things, the patient red dwarfs, the cooling white embers, the crushed and spinning hearts. For the universe is not only vast in its great things, but also in its small ones, and there is a gentle poetry in the way the smallest remnants hold the mass of whole stars. But tonight, our journey runs the other way, outward and upward, toward the great. So let us leave the small stars glowing quietly behind us, and turn again toward the giants. For beyond our modest sun, and beyond the dim red dwarfs, there are stars so vast they beggar the imagination. Not all stars are gentle and small. Some are far, far greater. And to find the giants, we need only look up on a clear winter night, toward the great constellation of Orion, the hunter, and find the bright star that marks his shoulder. A star with an old and lovely name, Betelgeuse. Betelgeuse is a red giant, or rather, a red supergiant, one of the largest stars that can easily be seen with the naked eye. It glows with a deep, warm, reddish light, the color of dying embers, the color of the last coals of a fire late at night. And it is dying, in its own slow way, swollen huge and red in the final chapters of its life. If you could take our sun and set Betelgeuse down in its place, at the very center of our solar system, the surface of that vast red star would swallow Mercury, and Venus, and the Earth, and Mars, all four of the inner worlds would vanish inside it, and its glowing edge would reach out nearly to the orbit of Jupiter. And Betelgeuse is dying, gently, in the way of the greatest stars. It has burned through most of its fuel, and swollen huge and cool and red in its old age, and it will not last much longer, not in the slow reckoning of the cosmos. Sometime in the next 100,000 years, perhaps sooner, perhaps a little later, it will reach the very end, and its core will collapse, and it will die in a great supernova, one of those titanic flashes that for a few weeks can outshine a whole galaxy. When it comes, that light will cross the 600 light-years to Earth, and for a little while, Betelgeuse will blaze in our sky as bright as the moon, bright enough to cast shadows, bright enough to read by in the middle of the night, and then, slowly, over months, it will fade, and dim, and vanish, and the shoulder of Orion will go dark forever. No one knows if it will happen tonight, or 10,000 years from now. The light may already be on its way. But there is no need to wait for it, and nothing to fear in it. It is only the gentle, ancient way of the great stars, to swell, and redden, and blaze one last time, and let go. Rest easy beneath old Betelgeuse tonight, glowing its deep and dying red on the shoulder of the hunter, keeping its patient watch, as it has through all of human history, and will for a while yet. Let that settle over you slowly, as you sink a little deeper. Where our sun burns, small and bright, this single star would fill the whole of the inner solar system, its glowing surface where the planets now drift in the dark. Our sun, that holds 1,000,000 Earths, would itself be lost within Betelgeuse like a single spark inside a bonfire. And Betelgeuse is only a supergiant. It is not yet the largest. Not by far. For beyond the supergiants lie the hypergiants, the true titans among the stars, so rare that only a handful are known in all our galaxy, so vast that the mind simply slides off the numbers and finds nothing to hold. Let us drift, gently, toward one of them. Far across the galaxy, some 5,000 light-years away, in the constellation of the Shield, there burns a star called Scuti. It is a red hypergiant, and for a long time it was thought to be among the very largest stars ever found. If you could set it, too, where our sun now sits, its surface would reach out past Mercury, past Venus, past Earth and Mars, past the great asteroid belt, past mighty Jupiter, and out beyond the rings of Saturn. Nearly the whole of our familiar solar system, all the worlds we have ever known, would fit inside this single star, with room to spare. Try, gently, to picture the scale of it. If our sun were shrunk down to the size of that single grain of sand where our journey began, then Scuti, at the same scale, would be a sphere larger than a tall house, vast enough to fill a room, to fill a home, while the sun beside it is a mote you would need to squint to see. And still we have not reached the largest. There are stars, dim and swollen and cool, out in the far reaches of the galaxy, so enormous that if you could somehow travel around one at the speed of a jet aircraft, the journey would take you many hundreds of years, never landing, never stopping, simply circling that one impossible star. Think, even, of light itself, and how it labors to cross these giants. Light can flash from the Earth to the Moon in little more than a single second. It crosses our own sun, edge to edge, in about 4.5 seconds. But to cross one of the greatest hypergiants, from one side to the other, that same beam of light, the fastest thing there is, would need not seconds, but hours. Whole hours, for light to travel the width of a single star. You could eat a meal, and read for a while, and light would still be crossing, patiently, from one side of that vast dim giant to the other. That is how large a single star can be. Not a galaxy. Not a cluster. A single star, so vast that light itself takes half a day to cross it. And yet, for all their impossible size, there is something gentle in these greatest stars. They are so swollen and so thin that their outer layers are barely there at all, a vast, soft, glowing haze, cooler than the fierce white fire of our sun, dim and red and tenuous, more like a great warm fog than a solid burning ball. If you could somehow drift into the outer reaches of one, you would find not a fierce and blazing surface, but a soft red glow all around you, thin and warm and strangely gentle, the outermost breath of a dying giant, drifting slowly away into the dark. The very largest stars are also among the softest, and the most fleeting, and the most gentle. Let that quiet paradox drift through your mind as you rest, that the greatest things can also be the softest, and that even a star vast enough to swallow the whole solar system is, in the end, only a great warm gentleness, glowing quietly in the dark, letting go. Some of these giants are so vast, and so tenuous, that they are barely more solid than the air you are breathing, great glowing balloons of thin, hot gas, larger than the paths the planets trace, and yet weighing only a little more than the modest sun. They are not dense and fierce like our star. They are soft, and swollen, and slow, drifting toward the ends of their lives, shedding their outer layers gently into space like a sleeper letting go of the blankets in the warm hours of the night. And here is a gentle thing to carry with you, as you drift among these titans. For all their size, the giant stars do not last. The larger a star, the faster it burns through its fuel, and the sooner its long day ends. Our small, modest sun will shine steadily for 10 billion years. But these great hypergiants live only a few million years, a single breath, in the long life of the cosmos, blazing enormous and brief, and then letting go. It is almost always the way, in this universe, the vast and the fierce burn quickly, and the small and the gentle endure. There is a quiet comfort in that, somewhere, for all of us small and gentle things, resting softly in the dark. Let the great red giants drift behind us now, glowing warm and dim, like the last coals of a fire seen from far across a darkening field. We have grown from a grain of sand, to a world, to a star that could swallow 1,000 suns. And still, we are only at the very beginning of the large. Let us drift onward, and outward, and see what greater things are waiting in the dark. For stars are rarely truly alone. They are born together, in great nurseries of gas, in brothers and sisters by the 100 and the 1,000. And when we step back far enough to see not a single star, but a whole family of them gathered together, we find our next great step outward. The star cluster. Some of these are loose and open, a few hundred young stars, born from the same cloud, drifting together for a while through the galaxy before they slowly wander apart, like children of the same family growing up and going their separate ways. If you have ever looked up on a winter night and seen the little misty knot of the Pleiades, the Seven Sisters, a tiny cluster of blue-white stars gathered close in the dark, then you have seen one of these open clusters with your own eyes. A few dozen bright young stars, still wrapped in the faint blue glow of the cloud that made them, drifting together across the sky. But there are older, grander gatherings than these. Drift with me, out and away from the flat plane of the galaxy, up into the great dark halo that surrounds it, and there, hanging in the emptiness, you will find the globular clusters. And these are something else entirely. A globular cluster is a vast, ancient ball of stars, not a few hundred, but hundreds of thousands, and sometimes millions of them, all gathered together by their own gravity into a great glowing sphere. They are among the oldest things in the universe, these clusters, nearly as old as the cosmos itself, their stars ancient and reddened with age, wheeling slowly around one another as they have for 12 or 13 billion years. Picture one, softly, in your mind, a great swarm of stars, blazing thick and golden toward the crowded center, thinning out toward the soft glowing edges, hanging alone in the deep dark far above the galaxy. And imagine, for a moment, what the sky would look like from a world deep inside such a cluster. There would be no true night. In every direction, the sky would blaze with thousands upon thousands of stars, some as bright as the full moon, filling the darkness with a soft and constant golden light. A sky so crowded with suns that you could read by it, that shadows would fall in every direction at once, that the idea of a truly dark night would be a strange and foreign thing. Rest a moment beneath that imagined sky, that gentle, sleepless, golden glow, where 100,000 ancient stars keep their slow and silent watch. And these clusters are old almost beyond belief, among the very oldest things that exist anywhere. They formed near the dawn of the universe itself, 12 or 13 billion years ago, when the cosmos was still young, long before our sun, long before the flat disk of our galaxy had even finished taking shape. They are living fossils, these great golden spheres, relics of the first ages of creation, drifting on long, slow, looping orbits high above and below the galaxy, dipping down through its bright disk and rising back out into the dark halo, once every few 100 million years. Our galaxy holds perhaps 150 of them, scattered through its halo like ancient lanterns, each one a preserved gathering of some of the first stars ever to shine. Imagine the patience of such a thing. 100,000 stars, gathered together 13 billion years ago, still wheeling slowly around one another now, in the same great sphere, having drifted together through nearly the whole life of the universe without ever once scattering apart. Empires have risen and fallen, species have come and gone, whole worlds have formed and died, and still the great cluster turns, slow and golden and unchanged, keeping its ancient stars gathered close, as it has since almost the beginning of time. There is a deep stillness in that endurance, the quiet of something so old and so patient that all the hurry of the world means nothing to it at all. Let a little of that ancient stillness settle into you now, as you drift. You are held by things far older and far more patient than any worry of the passing day. A great globular cluster may be 100 light-years across, or more. And a light-year, remember, is the distance that light travels in a whole year, moving faster than anything else there is, a distance so vast that if you shrank the entire Earth down to the size of a grain of sand, a single light-year, at that same scale, would still stretch on for hundreds of miles. And these clusters are 100 of those, and more, from edge to glowing edge. Rest a moment with what a light-year truly means, for it is the ruler we will measure all the rest of the night with, and it is worth feeling in full. Light is the fastest thing there is. Nothing in all the universe can travel faster. In a single second, a beam of light could circle the whole of the Earth 7 times over. It crosses from the Sun to the Earth, 93 million miles, in about 8 minutes. It could travel from here to the Moon in little more than a single second. There is nothing swifter, nothing more urgent, in all of creation. And yet, set against the distances between the stars, even light is slow. Slow, and patient, and small. That same beam, that crosses to the Moon in a second, needs more than 4 whole years to reach even the very nearest star beyond our Sun. It needs 100,000 years to cross our galaxy. It needs 2.5 million years to reach us from Andromeda. The fastest thing there is, crawling for millions of years across a single gap in the dark. That is how vast the spaces have become. A light-year is not merely far. It is a distance that humbles the swiftest thing in the universe, that makes even light itself seem to crawl, patient and tiny, across the great and gentle deep. Let that gentle slowness settle over you. Out here, even light takes its time. Even the swiftest thing there is must be patient, must drift for ages, must wait out the long millions of years it takes to cross from one lonely place to the next. There is no hurry anywhere in the great deep. Nothing rushes. Nothing strains. Even light simply drifts, patient and unhurried, across the vast and gentle dark. Let your own thoughts slow to that same patient pace. There is nowhere you need to be, and all the time in the universe to arrive. We have left the scale of single stars far behind. Let us drift onward still. For between the stars, and among the clusters, there drift the great clouds, the nebulae, and these are larger still, and among the most beautiful things the universe has ever made. A nebula is a cloud of gas and dust, floating in the dark between the stars. Some are the shredded remains of stars that have died, cast off gently into space. Others are the opposite, vast, cold cradles where new stars are being born, glowing softly as the young stars within them light their gas from inside. They come in colors the eye can barely believe, deep crimsons and soft rose pinks, glowing teals and gentle golds, great pillars and towers and veils of luminous mist, light years tall, drifting in the silent dark. Think of one of the great star-forming nebulae, and try, gently, to feel its true size. There is a famous cloud, deep in our galaxy, where towering columns of gas and dust rise up like mountains against the glowing dark, pillars where new stars are quietly being born within. These columns are so large that a single one of them is not a light day, or a light week, but light years tall. Our entire solar system, the Sun and all its planets, out to the farthest cold and distant comet, would be, against one of these towers, a single tiny speck, lost somewhere on its glowing flank. Whole solar systems could form and drift within the folds of a single cloud, and the cloud would scarcely notice them at all. And these are not the largest of the nebulae. Far across the space near our galaxy, there floats a vast region of glowing gas so enormous that if it were as close to us as the more familiar clouds, it would stretch across a quarter of our entire night sky and cast faint shadows on the ground by its own light. Within it, thousands of new stars are being born at once, including some of the very hypergiants we met before, blazing in a great nursery of light hundreds of light years across. It is a single object, one connected cloud, larger than 1,000 of the clusters we drifted through before. And there is such gentleness in how the stars are born within these clouds. It begins in the cold, dark, densest folds of the gas, where a small region grows a little heavier than the rest, and begins, ever so slowly, to draw itself inward. Across ages beyond counting, that small dense knot pulls more gas onto itself, and grows warmer at its heart as it gathers, and warmer still, until at last, deep in the darkness of the cloud, the temperature crosses a threshold, and a new fire catches, and a star begins, quietly, to shine. It is the same slow gathering that made our own sun, 4.5 billion years ago, in just such a cloud, long since drifted apart. Every star that shines was born this way, from the patient inward gathering of a cold dark cloud, across ages of gentle, silent drift. And the great glowing pillars we spoke of, those towers of gas light years tall, are these very nurseries, lit and sculpted from within. The young stars, once they catch fire, pour out fierce light and wind, and slowly carve the cloud around them, hollowing out great glowing caverns, sculpting the gas into towers and veils and delicate ridges of light. The pillars are the last dense folds of cloud, standing against the light of the young stars like sea stacks standing against the tide, and within their tips, even now, still more new stars are quietly being born. They are places of birth, these clouds, cathedrals of it, vast, glowing, slow, and impossibly beautiful, where the stars come gently into being, a few at a time, across the long ages, in the soft light of their older brothers and sisters. Picture one of those great pillars now, softly, as your thoughts begin to drift, a tower of glowing gas, light years tall, painted in rose and gold and shadow, standing silent against a background of soft luminous mist, with new stars glimmering at its crown. It has stood there, slowly changing, for longer than the Earth has existed. And it will drift on, slowly dissolving, giving its gas gently to the young stars, for ages yet to come. Nothing hurries, in the great clouds. Everything is patient. Everything is slow. The stars take millions of years simply to be born. Let that great slowness settle over you, and slow your own drifting thoughts to match it, as you sink a little deeper toward sleep. Let these great glowing clouds drift slowly past you now, soft and vast and silent, painted in their impossible colors, light years deep. You are smaller than a single atom drifting in one of them. And there is such peace in that smallness, to be a tiny, quiet thing, adrift in something so enormous, so gentle, and so beautiful. Let the colors soften, and blur, and dim, as your thoughts begin to settle. We have grown from a grain of sand to a cloud that could cradle 10,000 suns. And still, we are only just beginning to be large. Now let us take a great step back, the greatest step so far, and gather all of it together. The stars, and the clusters, and the glowing clouds, and the dark dust between them. Let us rise up, far above them all, until they blur together into a single, slow, turning wheel of light. Let us rise up to see our galaxy. The Milky Way. You have seen it, perhaps, on a dark night far from the lights of any city, a faint band of soft, milky light, arching across the whole of the sky. That gentle band is the reason we call it the Milky Way, and it is our home. And that same soft band of light has arched over every night that has ever been. Every person who has ever lived has looked up, on some dark night, and seen that same gentle river of stars, the first people around their fires, and the builders of the oldest cities, and the sailors who crossed the dark seas by its light, and every child who has ever lain in the grass on a summer night and wondered what it was. the very same band of light, the very same distant stars, arching over all of them, and now over you. It is one of the oldest sights there is, and one of the most shared. Beneath it, countless millions have wondered, and been comforted, and drifted off to sleep, in every age of the world. And tonight you join that long and gentle company, one more small soul, beneath the same old river of stars, wondering, and being comforted, and drifting off to sleep. You are not the first to rest beneath the Milky Way tonight, and you will not be the last. All across the darkened half of the world, others are lying just as you are, beneath that same soft band, letting the day go, drifting down toward sleep. Let that quiet fellowship hold you, as the ancient starlight holds us all. It is not a thing apart from us. We are inside it. That soft glow is the light of countless distant stars, so far away and so many that they blur together into a river of light. We live within a galaxy, and when we look up at that band, we are looking edge-on, out through the great flat disk of it, into its crowded depths. Let its true size settle over you slowly, for it is the largest thing we have yet met, by far. Our galaxy is a vast, turning spiral, a great wheel of light perhaps 100,000 light-years across. Within it drift not 1,000 stars, not 1,000,000, but somewhere between 2 and 400 billion of them, so many that if you tried to count them, one each second, without ever stopping to eat, or sleep, or rest, it would take you longer than the age of the universe to reach the end. Hundreds of billions of suns, each one perhaps with worlds of its own, all turning together in one slow, majestic wheel. And it turns so slowly, and it is so vast, that light itself, the fastest thing there is, needs 100,000 years simply to cross from one side of it to the other. When you look at a star on the far side of our galaxy, you see light that left it before there were cities, before there was writing, before our kind had even fully become ourselves. The Milky Way is so large that it is not only a place, but a kind of time machine, its light carrying the deep past gently to our eyes. Let us drift, slowly, through our galaxy for a while, before we leave it behind, for it is our home, and it is worth knowing well. At its very center, far across the disk from us, 26,000 light-years away, there lies the galactic heart, a crowded, blazing region where the stars are packed so thickly that, from a world there, the night sky would never truly darken. And at the very center of that center, there sits a great darkness, a supermassive black hole, for 1,000,000 times the mass of our sun, around which the whole vast wheel of the galaxy slowly turns. It is not devouring us. It is simply there, the still, dark anchor at the heart of our island of stars, holding the great turning together. Every star you have ever seen with your own eyes drifts, along with our sun, in a vast and patient circle around it. Out from that bright and crowded center wind the great spiral arms, long, sweeping rivers of stars and glowing gas, where the new stars are born brightest and bluest, lighting the arms like street lamps along a great curving road. Our own sun lies far out, in a quieter place, on a smaller spur between two of the grander arms, a calm and gentle suburb of the galaxy, away from the crowding and the fierce blue fire of the center. It is a good place to have been born. Not too crowded, not too violent, warm and quiet and safe, a full 26,000 light-years from the great dark heart. Rest a moment in the good fortune of our address, this calm, unremarkable, life-friendly corner of the wheel, where our small sun has drifted, peacefully, for 4.5 billion years. And wrapped all around the flat spinning disk of the galaxy, there is a great, dim, spherical halo, a vast and quiet region reaching far above and below the bright disk, where the oldest stars drift, and where the ancient globular clusters hang like distant lanterns in the dark. When you picture our galaxy, do not picture only the flat, bright spiral. Picture also that great soft sphere of dark and ancient space surrounding it, thinly scattered with the eldest stars of all, cradling the bright wheel within it like a still pond holding a turning pinwheel of light. If you could rise up far above our galaxy and look down upon it from the quiet dark of the halo, you would see one of the most beautiful sights in all creation, a vast, glowing whirlpool of light, its arms winding out from a bright golden center, threaded with the pink glow of star-forming clouds and the dark lanes of drifting dust, turning, ever so slowly, in the silent dark. And you would know that somewhere out along one of those arms, on one small spur, around one small yellow star, too faint to pick out from all the billions, there is a small blue world, where someone is lying quietly in the dark, drifting towards sleep, held safely within the whole slow-turning wheel. That someone is you. And that beautiful whirlpool of 100,000 light-years is your home. We drift, our sun and all its worlds, far out in one of the quiet spiral arms, more than halfway from the center to the edge. And we, too, are turning. Our sun sweeps around the great galactic center once every 230 million years or so, a single galactic year, carrying the Earth, and all of us, along on that vast and gentle circle. The last time our sun was where it is tonight, in its long orbit around the galaxy, the great dinosaurs were only just beginning to walk the young green Earth. That is how slowly, and how grandly, the wheel of our galaxy turns. Rest here a while, cradled in the slow spin of the Milky Way. You are one small warm life, on one small world, drifting around one ordinary star, in one quiet arm of a wheel of 400 billion suns. And the wheel turns, patient and vast, holding you safe, as it has held everything you have ever known, and everything anyone has ever known, for all of human history has happened within this single slow turning. Let it carry you, gently, as it always has. And now, hold gently to that image of our galaxy, that great wheel of hundreds of billions of stars, because we are about to learn that even it, vast as it is only a modest, middling thing. For among the galaxies, too, there are giants. Our Milky Way is large, but it is not the largest galaxy, not by a long way. Drift with me, far out across the deep gulfs between the galaxies, to a distant cluster more than 1 billion light-years away, where there hangs a single galaxy so vast it humbles even the imagination. Its name is a plain and quiet one, IC 1101, but the thing itself is anything but plain. It is a giant elliptical galaxy, not a flat spiral like ours, but a vast, glowing egg-shaped swarm of stars, and it may hold as many as 100 trillion of them. 100 trillion stars. Let that number drift past you slowly, for it is beyond all real grasping. If our own galaxy holds a few 100 billion stars, then this single giant holds hundreds of times more, as many stars, perhaps, as there are grains of sand on all the beaches and in all the deserts of the entire Earth, gathered together into one enormous glowing cloud. It stretches millions of light-years from end to end, so large that if you placed it where our Milky Way now sits, it would swallow not only our galaxy, but our nearest great neighbor Andromeda, and all the smaller galaxies between them, and reach on farther still into the dark. 50 of our galaxies, and more, could be laid across it side by side. And it is a different kind of thing from our own bright spiral. For the giant galaxies are not flat, graceful wheels with winding arms. They are ellipticals, great, smooth, egg-shaped swarms of stars, without arms, without the bright blue fire of new star birth, glowing instead with the soft, warm, golden light of countless ancient suns. Their stars are old, and red, and slow, drifting on long looping paths in every direction at once, like a great swarm of bees held together in the dark, rather than a school of fish all turning the same way. There is a stillness to them, a settledness, the calm of great age. They have finished their growing and their star-making. Now they simply glow, softly and vastly, in the deep, old, and golden, and serene. And they grew so great in the same way the giant cluster galaxies did, by merging, and devouring, across the long ages. Every great elliptical is the sum of many smaller galaxies that drifted together and became one, spiral after spiral falling in, their graceful arms torn apart and smoothed away in the merging, until nothing was left but a single vast, calm, golden swarm. When two great spirals like our Milky Way and Andromeda collide, this is what they will one day become, not two wheels, but one great smooth elliptical, its arms gone, its star-making slowed, settling at last into the calm golden age of an old and giant galaxy. The greatest galaxies are not born great. They grow great, slowly, gently, by gathering, across ages beyond counting. Even here, at this vast scale, the old and patient story repeats, things drift together, and become one, and grow. Let us pause here a moment, halfway up our long climb, and simply breathe. We have come so far already from that single grain of sand. Breathe in, slowly, and let it go. And feel how gently the mind lets go of the numbers when they grow too large to hold. That is not a failure. That is the beginning of peace. The mind was never meant to grasp 100 trillion stars, and it need not try. It need only rest quietly beneath them, the way you rest beneath a night sky without counting the stars, not measuring, not straining, only letting the vastness hold you, and soften you, and slow your breathing down. Notice, perhaps, how far away the day feels now. We have traveled so far from it, past the sun, past the giant stars, past the glowing clouds, past our whole galaxy, out to galaxies that could swallow ours 50 times over. And with every step outward, the small and heavy things of the day have grown smaller, and lighter, and farther behind. Let them stay there, far below, small and dim, while we drift on, higher and gentler, into the great quiet. There is nothing down there tonight that can reach you up here, among the giant galaxies, in the soft and silent dark. Breathe in, once more, and let it go. And let us climb on, gently, toward the greatest things of all. Try, if you like, to hold the whole ladder of it in your softening mind. From a grain of sand, to the earth, to the sun that holds 1,000,000 earths, to a hypergiant that could swallow 1,000 suns, to a nebula light years deep, to our galaxy of 400 billion stars, and now to a single galaxy that could hold 50 of our own. Each step so much larger than the last that the one before it shrinks to nothing. And still, we are not done. Not nearly. For galaxies, like stars, do not drift alone. Let us step back once more, and see how they gather. Our own galaxy has neighbors. Not close ones, the spaces between galaxies are almost unimaginably vast, but neighbors all the same, bound to us by the slow, patient pull of gravity across the dark. Together, we form a small gathering of galaxies that astronomers call the local group. And it is our galactic home, our neighborhood in the cosmos, the little island cluster to which our Milky Way belongs. The local group holds a few dozen galaxies in all, though most of them are small and faint, dwarf galaxies, dim little clouds of a few million or a few billion stars, drifting quietly around the two great ones. For there are two large galaxies that dominate our little group. One is our own Milky Way, and the other is our great twin, our nearest large neighbor, the vast and beautiful spiral we call Andromeda. Andromeda is the most distant thing you can see with your own unaided eyes. On a truly dark night, far from any lights, if you know just where to look, you can find it, a faint, soft smudge of light, no brighter than a little breath of mist upon the dark. And yet that faint smudge is an entire galaxy, 1 trillion stars or more, larger even than our own Milky Way. The light by which you see it left Andromeda 2.5 million years ago, and has been crossing the empty dark ever since, all through the long rise of humankind, to arrive at last, tonight, at your eye. When you look at Andromeda, you are looking farther, in both space and time, than at anything else you will ever see without a telescope. Rest a moment with the tender strangeness of that. A whole galaxy, a trillion suns, and to us it is only a soft grey whisper in the dark, so faint you must look slightly to the side of it to see it at all. That is how vast the distances have become. And Andromeda is not our only companion in the dark. Closer to home, drifting around our own Milky Way like moons around a world, there are smaller galaxies still, our satellites, bound to us by gravity, circling us slowly through the ages. The two brightest of them can be seen with the naked eye from the far south of the Earth, where they hang in the night sky like two soft detached pieces of the Milky Way itself, the large and the small Magellanic Clouds, named for the sailors who first carried word of them back across the world. They are small, ragged galaxies, a few billion stars each, and within one of them lies that vast star-forming nebula we drifted through before, blazing with the birth of new suns. They circle us quietly, our little companions, and one day, across the long billions of years, our galaxy's gravity will slowly draw them in, and they will become part of us, their stars mingling gently with our own. And our great neighbor Andromeda draws nearer, too. For it is not drifting away from us, as the distant galaxies are, it is falling toward us, slowly, pulled across the dark by the patient gravity between us. In some 4 billion years, long from now, Andromeda will fill our night sky, growing from a faint grey smudge to a vast glowing spiral spread across the whole of the dark, and then the two great galaxies will meet, and pass through one another, and slowly, over hundreds of millions of years, merge into a single, greater galaxy. The astronomers who imagine that far-off time have already given the new galaxy a name. They call it Milky Way. And it will be beautiful, in its way, though no human eye will likely see it, for by then our sun will be growing old, and the Earth may be long past its green and living days. But there is no sorrow in it tonight. It is simply the slow and gentle way of galaxies, drifting together across the ages, in no hurry at all. And around our whole local group, there lies a great and gentle emptiness, a region called the local void, a vast, quiet expanse where almost no galaxies drift at all, one of the many great hollows in the cosmic web. We sit at its edge, our little island group, on the shore of a great dark sea of near-nothingness. And that void, too, is slowly growing, gently pushing our little group away from its emptiness, adding its soft nudge to all the other motions that carry us, ever so slowly, through the deep. So we are not alone in our corner of the cosmos, and yet we are wrapped in great and gentle spaces. Two large spiral galaxies, a scattering of little dwarfs, our small circling companions, all bound together in one quiet island group, and around us, the vast soft emptiness of the void, and beyond that, the great flows of Laniakea, carrying us all slowly toward the deep. It is a good and gentle neighborhood, our little local group, drifting quietly through the dark. Let it hold you, softly, as you rest. You are cradled not only by the Earth, and the Sun, and the galaxy, but by this whole small family of galaxies, drifting together through the immeasurable night. And Andromeda and our Milky Way are drifting, slowly, toward one another, falling together across the dark, so that in some 4 billion years, long from now, our two great galaxies will meet, and merge, and slowly become one. But there is no violence to fear in it. The stars are so far apart that in all that merging, almost none of them will ever collide. Two galaxies can pass through one another like two clouds of fireflies drifting together in the summer dark, mingling, and turning, and settling at last into a single greater whole. Let the whole of our local group drift softly in your mind now, the two great spirals, and their scattering of little dwarf companions, all bound together, all drifting slowly around their shared center across millions of light-years of empty dark. It is our home cluster. And it, too, we are about to learn, is only a small and quiet corner of something far, far greater. For our local group is itself only a modest outlying member of a much larger gathering. Drift with me now, out past Andromeda, out past the little dwarf galaxies at the edges of our group, across tens of millions of light-years of nearly empty space, toward a place where the galaxies grow thick and crowded. Toward a great galaxy cluster. A galaxy cluster is a gathering not of dozens of galaxies, but of hundreds, or even thousands of them, all bound together by gravity into a single vast structure, drifting and turning slowly through the dark across tens of millions of light-years. The nearest great one to us is the Virgo cluster, a swarm of well over 1,000 galaxies, whose gentle gravity reaches out even across the great gulf to tug, ever so slightly, on our own local group, slowly drawing us toward it. Try to hold the scale of that. A single galaxy, remember, may hold hundreds of billions of stars. And a cluster holds 1,000 galaxies, and more, 1,000 Milky Ways and Andromedas, 1,000 great wheels of hundreds of billions of suns each, all gathered together in one place. If a single galaxy is a city of stars, then a galaxy cluster is a vast country of cities, a whole civilization of galaxies, gathered in the dark. And between them all, unseen, drifts a thin, hot, glowing gas, and a great deal more of the mysterious dark matter whose gentle gravity holds the whole enormous structure together. And that gas between the galaxies is a wonder in itself. For a great cluster holds far more matter in the thin, hot gas drifting between its galaxies than in all the galaxies' stars combined. It is spread so thinly it would seem, to us, a near-perfect vacuum, and yet it is so vast, filling the whole enormous space between 1,000 galaxies, that its total weight dwarfs everything that shines. It glows softly in kinds of light our eyes cannot see, heated to millions of degrees by the sheer scale of the cluster's gravity, a great invisible sea of warmth in which all the bright galaxies drift like glowing islands. When we learned to see that hidden light, we found the clusters were far greater, and far heavier, than all their stars had ever suggested. And at the very heart of many a great cluster, there sits a single, monstrous galaxy, the largest of them all. For the giant central galaxies of clusters grow great by slowly devouring their neighbors, across the long ages. The smaller galaxies that drift too close are pulled in, and torn apart, and their stars added to the giant at the center, until it swells into something enormous, one of those 100 trillion star titans, grown fat on 1,000 smaller galaxies, sitting bloated and bright at the very center of its cluster, wrapped in a vast dim halo of the scattered stars of all the galaxies it has consumed. They are the largest single galaxies there are, these central giants, and they sit at the hearts of the clusters like great old kings, surrounded by the glowing country of their realm. And the cluster, remember, is the largest thing that gravity has managed to gather into a single, settled, bound whole, a structure held firmly together, turning slowly as one, across tens of millions of light-years. Beyond this scale, as we will see, the great structures grow looser and stranger, drawn out into threads and sheets by gravity's gentle pull, but never quite gathered, never quite bound, forever drifting slowly toward a togetherness they will never fully reach. The cluster is the last of the truly solid things, the largest object, in all the universe, that is truly held. Some of these clusters are greater still. Far away, there is a cluster called Coma, holding well over 1,000 galaxies in a great glowing swarm, and others, farther out, holding thousands more. These are among the largest structures in the universe that gravity has managed to gather into a single, bound thing, a single object, held together, turning slowly as one. Beyond this scale, gravity begins to lose its grip, and the structures grow looser, and stranger, and larger still. Let the great cluster drift past you now, 1,000 galaxies, each a wheel of 100 billion suns, all turning together in the silent dark, wrapped in their invisible web of hot gas and unseen matter. From a grain of sand, we have grown to a country of 1,000 galaxies. And your thoughts, perhaps, are growing soft and slow now, drifting like the galaxies themselves, in no hurry at all. Let them drift. There is farther yet to go, and all the gentleness in the world to carry you there. Let us step back once more, farther than ever, until the great clusters themselves become mere points of light, and a new and even grander pattern reveals itself. For the clusters, too, are gathered, strung together, cluster upon cluster, into the vast, faint structures we call the superclusters. A supercluster is a great chain, or sheet, or river of galaxy clusters, flowing together across the dark. And our own local group, with all its galaxies, belongs to one of them. For a long time we thought we belonged to a supercluster centered on the Great Virgo cluster. But not so long ago, astronomers mapped the gentle flows of the galaxies more carefully than ever before, the way they all drift, ever so slowly, along invisible currents through the dark, and they discovered that our Virgo supercluster was only a small outlying lobe of something far, far larger. They gave this greater structure a beautiful name, from an old language of the islands of the Pacific. They called it Laniakea, which means, in that tongue, immeasurable heaven. And it is well named. Laniakea, our home supercluster, stretches across some 500 million light-years of space, and holds within it the mass of 100,000 galaxies like our own. Picture it, if you gently can, a vast, branching structure, like the roots of some unthinkable tree, or the veins of some enormous leaf, along which 100,000 galaxies all slowly drift, all gently flowing inward toward a great central region, drawn by a deep and mysterious pull. Our Milky Way lies far out on one of the thin outer tendrils of Laniakea, drifting slowly inward with all the rest, a single galaxy among 100,000, on one small branch of the immeasurable heaven. And the way we came to know it is itself a quiet wonder. For Laniakea has no sharp edge, no wall, no clear boundary. It is defined not by where it ends, but by which way its galaxies flow. The astronomers took the faint, slow motions of thousands upon thousands of galaxies, and traced them, like leaves upon a great invisible river, and asked a simple question: which of them are all drifting the same way, all being drawn toward the same deep place? And where those gentle currents all flowed together, toward one great central valley, they drew the shape of Laniakea, a single vast watershed of galaxies, all flowing slowly inward toward a shared deep heart, across 500 million light-years of space. We do not sit within walls. We sit within a current. And that current is carrying us, ever so slowly, along with 100,000 other galaxies, toward the deep center of the immeasurable heaven, and has been since long before the Earth was born. There is something wonderfully restful in that image, to be a single leaf on a vast, slow, gentle river of galaxies, all drifting the same way through the dark, in no hurry, toward a place we will never quite arrive. We are not lost out here. We are not adrift and alone. We are part of a great and gentle flowing, carried along on the same slow current as 100,000 shining islands, all of us drifting softly together toward the deep. Let that current carry you now, as it always has, as it always will, gently, through the dark, toward rest. Rest here, at the edge of Laniakea, and feel how far we have come. That single grain of sand where we began is now so unimaginably far below us that it has vanished 1,000 times over, smaller than a grain of sand upon a grain of sand upon a grain of sand. Our whole galaxy, our 400 billion suns, is now a single dim mote on the outermost tendril of a structure so vast that light itself would need 500 million years to cross it. And still, incredibly, we are not yet at the largest. There is farther yet to go. For when we step back far enough to see many superclusters at once, spread across the deep, we find the grandest pattern of all beginning to emerge. And the strangest part of it is not the galaxies. It is the emptiness between them. For the universe, on its very largest scales, is not filled evenly with galaxies, sprinkled like sugar smoothly through the dark. It is instead a thing of great structure, of vast walls and threads of galaxies, and, between them, of enormous, silent, almost perfectly empty voids. And these voids are among the largest single things in all of creation. Imagine an emptiness so vast that it beggars the mind. There is a region of space, not so very far away as these things go, called the Boötes void, a great, round bubble of near-nothingness, some 300 million light-years across, in which there is almost nothing at all. A few lonely galaxies drift within it, scattered so thinly that if our own Milky Way sat at the center of such a void, we would not have known, for most of human history, that any other galaxies even existed, for the nearest ones would lie so far away, across so much emptiness, as to be all but invisible. Great spheres of silence, hundreds of millions of light-years wide, where the universe simply thins away almost to nothing. And around these vast voids, the galaxies gather into the opposite of emptiness, into great walls. There is one, called the Sloan Great Wall, a colossal sheet of galaxies more than 1 billion light-years long, a wall of thousands upon thousands of galaxies, stretching across a length of space so enormous that even our supercluster Laniakea, 500 million light-years wide, is small beside it. It is one of the largest known structures in the entire universe, not a single galaxy, not a cluster, not a supercluster, but a great wall of them, 1 billion light-years from end to end. And dwell for a moment on the voids, for there is a deep peace in them, and we so rarely think of the emptiness as a wonder in its own right. Picture yourself adrift at the very center of one, the great Boötes void, 300 million light-years of near-perfect quiet all around you. In every direction, the dark stretches on, and on, almost empty, almost silent, the few scattered galaxies so far away as to be the faintest specks of light, or nothing at all. It would be the loneliest place imaginable, and yet, if you let it, it becomes something else entirely, the most peaceful place there is. No crowding. No noise. No pull or press of neighbors. Only the vast, soft, open dark, and the deep and gentle quiet, stretching on farther than the mind can follow. The voids are the great resting places of the universe, its wide and silent meadows, its still and open seas. And they make up most of it. Most of the universe, by far, is this gentle, open, peaceful emptiness, resting quietly between the threads of light. And even here, at this vast scale, nothing is quite still. The great walls and the great voids are slowly, gently shifting, the galaxies draining out of the emptying voids, flowing along the threads, gathering slowly onto the walls and toward the great knots where the clusters blaze. It happens across billions of years, far too slowly for any eye to see, a motion so patient it makes the drifting of the continents seem a frantic rush. But it is there, that slow and gentle flowing, all across the cosmic web, the galaxies drifting, like water finding its level across an unimaginably vast and gentle landscape, toward the low places, toward the deep, in no hurry at all, across all the ages of the world. Let these two vast things drift softly in your mind now, side by side, the great empty voids, hundreds of millions of light-years of gentle silence, and the great walls of galaxies that wind between them, 1 billion light-years long. This is the universe at its very largest, beginning at last to show us its true shape. And its true shape, we will find, is something strangely, quietly beautiful, something like the branching of rivers, or the veins of a leaf, or the soft grey threads within a sleeping mind. Let us drift back just a little farther, and see the whole of it at once. And here, at last, we reach the largest structure there is. Not a star, not a galaxy, not a cluster or a wall, but the great pattern into which all of them are woven together. Astronomers call it the cosmic web. And it is, as far as we know, the single largest thing in all the universe. Rise up high enough, impossibly high, higher than any eye could ever truly climb, and let all the galaxies blur together into points of soft light, and this is what you would see. Not chaos. Not an even scattering, but a vast, delicate, glowing net, stretched across the whole of creation. The galaxies and clusters and superclusters all lie strung together along immense, luminous filaments, great threads of galaxies, hundreds of millions of light-years long, winding through the dark. And where these filaments cross and meet, the galaxies gather thickest, in brilliant knots and nodes of light. And between the threads lie the great dark voids, the vast bubbles of silence, hundreds of millions of light-years wide. Threads, and knots, and hollows, rivers of galaxies, and the great dark spaces they wind between. It looks, when you finally see the whole of it, astonishingly like something living, like the branching roots of a single unthinkable tree, spreading through the dark. Like the fine grey web of cells within a living brain, humming quietly with thought. Like foam, where countless galaxies ride the thin surfaces of countless empty bubbles. The largest structure in the universe looks, in the end, like the smallest and most intimate things we know. And there is a deep and gentle mystery in that the whole of everything, at its very grandest scale, should echo the shape of a leaf, of a river delta, of the quiet mind that is, even now, softening toward sleep. And the web was not built quickly, or by any hand. It grew, slowly, out of the very faintest whispers. In the earliest moments of the universe, the matter was spread almost perfectly smooth, almost perfectly even, but not quite. There were the tiniest ripples in it, places a hair denser than the rest, no more than a whisper of unevenness in the young cosmos. And gravity, patient beyond all patience, went to work upon those whispers. Across billions of years, the slightly denser places pulled a little more matter to themselves, and grew a little denser still, and pulled a little harder, while the slightly emptier places gave up their matter and grew emptier, and emptier, until they became the great voids. Drop by drop, age by age, gravity drew the smooth young universe into threads, and knots, and hollows, sculpting the great web out of nearly nothing, across the whole long life of the cosmos. The largest structure there is was grown, gently, from the faintest ripples in the beginning, by the most patient force there is, across more time than the mind can hold. There is a lesson in that, somewhere soft, for a mind drifting towards sleep. That the grandest things are built from the faintest beginnings, by patience alone. That a whisper, given time enough, becomes a galaxy, and a galaxy, given time enough, becomes a strand of the great web that holds the whole of everything. Nothing was hurried. Nothing was forced. It all simply gathered, gently, across the ages, into the vast and quiet beauty that cradles you tonight. Let that same patience settle into you. You need not build anything tonight, or gather anything, or hurry anything at all. You need only rest, and let the gentle work of the night unfold, slowly, in its own good time, as all great and quiet things unfold. Rest here, held in the great cosmic web, and feel how completely it holds you. Every galaxy you have ever heard of, every star, every world, everything that has ever lived or ever will, all of it lies somewhere along these glowing threads, cradled in this single vast and gentle net. You are a part of it. You always have been. One tiny, warm, living point on one small world, on one dim mote of a galaxy, on one thin outer strand of the immeasurable web that holds the whole of everything together. You belong to the largest structure there is. You are woven into it. And it holds you, softly, as it holds all things, in the deep and patient dark. Let us step back one final time, and take in the whole of it, everything we can possibly see, all at once. Let us rise up to the scale of the entire observable universe. For there is a limit to how far we can see. Not a wall, not an edge to the universe itself, but a limit to our seeing, the horizon, drawn not by the end of things, but by the age of the light. The universe is around 14 billion years old, and so light has only had 14 billion years to travel toward us since the very beginning. Beyond a certain distance, the light simply has not had time to reach us yet. That distance is our horizon. And the great sphere of everything within it, everything whose light has had time to arrive, is what we call the observable universe. And it is unimaginably vast. Because the universe has been stretching and expanding all the while the light was traveling, the observable universe reaches out not 14 billion light-years in every direction, but some 46 billion, a great sphere around us, 93 billion light-years from one side to the other. Within that sphere drift perhaps 2 trillion galaxies. 2 trillion. Each one a wheel of 100 billion stars or more. So many galaxies that there are more of them, within our sight, than there are grains of sand on every beach and in every desert of the earth. And each grain, in this vast comparison, is not a star, but a whole galaxy of hundreds of billions of stars. Let us dwell here a moment, at the very summit of our climb, and try to feel the fullness of it. Not so long ago, our telescopes turned toward one tiny, empty-seeming patch of the night sky, a spot no larger than a grain of sand held at arm's length, a patch so small and so dark it seemed to hold nothing at all, and stared at it, patiently, for days on end, gathering the faintest light. And when the image was finally revealed, that one tiny black speck of sky was found to be filled, crowded, brimming, with thousands upon thousands of galaxies, near and far, young and old, spiral and elliptical and strange, stretching back nearly to the beginning of time. Thousands of galaxies, in a patch of sky you could blot out with a single grain of sand. And every direction you could point, across the whole of the sky, holds just as many. That is the true richness of the deep. There is no empty part of the sky. There is only more, and more, and more, in every direction, farther than we can ever see. 2 trillion galaxies. Try to walk the number down, gently, and let it under you softly. If you could somehow visit one galaxy every single second, a whole galaxy of 100 billion stars, seen and left behind in the space of a heartbeat, it would take you more than 60,000 years, without ever once stopping to rest, simply to visit them all. And each one you passed would hold 100 billion suns, and around those suns, uncounted worlds, and on some small few of those worlds, perhaps, other quiet lives, looking up into their own night skies, and wondering, as you are wondering now. The universe is not just large. It is full. Brimming. Rich beyond all telling, with light, and worlds, and possibility, in every direction, as far as sight can reach, and far, far beyond. And all of it, every one of those 2 trillion galaxies, every star within them, every world, every possible life, all of it is contained within this single sphere of everything we can see. The whole of it, held in one great round horizon, with you at the very center. Not because you are special, but because that is simply how it is. Wherever you stand in the universe, you stand at the center of your own horizon, your own great sphere of everything whose light has had time to reach you. You are the still center of a sphere 93 billion light-years wide, brimming with 2 trillion galaxies. And you are lying quietly in the dark, breathing slowly, drifting toward sleep, at the heart of all of it. Try, gently, and without any strain at all, to rest in the shadow of that number. 2 trillion galaxies. Hundreds of billions of stars in each. Uncountable worlds. All of it, everything we have drifted through tonight, the giant stars, the glowing clouds, the great galaxies, the clusters, the walls, the immeasurable web, all of it is contained within this single sphere of everything we can see. And here, somewhere within it, unimaginably small, is you. Warm and breathing, and quietly alive, resting in the dark, at the center of your own small horizon, held within the largest thing there is. You do not need to hold these numbers. Let them wash over you, and through you, and away, like a great slow tide going out. The mind was never made to grasp such things, and it does not need to. It needs only to rest quietly beneath them, the way you might rest beneath a sky full of stars, not counting them, not measuring them, only letting their vast and gentle presence hold you, and soften you, and carry you down toward sleep. Rest here a moment, at the very summit of the climb, and look back down the long ladder we have climbed tonight. We began with a single grain of sand. And from the grain of sand, we rose to the earth, and the earth became small. From the earth, we rose to the sun, that holds 1,000,000 earths, and the sun became small. From the sun, to the giant stars that could swallow 1,000 suns, and they became small. To the great glowing nebulae, light years deep, and they became small. To the ancient clusters, and then to our galaxy, 400 billion suns turning slow, and it became small. To the giant galaxies, holding 100 trillion stars, and they became small. To our local group, and the great clusters, and Laniakea the immeasurable heaven, and each in turn became small. To the great walls and voids, and at last to the cosmic web itself, the largest structure there is, and to the whole observable universe, 2 trillion galaxies wide. Every single step so much larger than the last that the one before it vanished into nothing. And all of it, the whole vast ladder, climbed from a single grain of sand resting in an open palm. That is the shape of the cosmos, not one size, but an endless staircase of them, each landing dwarfing the last, rising up and up beyond all holding. And you have climbed the whole of it tonight, gently, in your quiet mind, without ever leaving your soft warm bed. You have stood at the very top of the largest ladder there is. Rest here a while, at the summit of everything, and simply breathe, and take it in, before we begin the long and gentle journey home. And now, perhaps, a soft question drifts up through your quieting mind. If the observable universe is only everything whose light has reached us, only as far as we can see, then what lies beyond it? What lies past the edge of our seeing? The gentle truth is that no one knows, and no one ever can, for it lies forever beyond our reach. But everything we understand suggests that the universe does not simply stop at the edge of our sight. That horizon is not a wall, not an ending, not the edge of the world. It is only the edge of our lantern's light. Beyond it, the universe almost certainly goes on, more galaxies, more clusters, more of the great web, stretching on and on. And it may be that it goes on not for a little way, but forever. That the universe is, quite simply, infinite. Endless in every direction. Without edge, without center, without any boundary at all. Let that thought rest lightly upon you, softer than a breath. An endless universe. Galaxies beyond galaxies, past the edge of sight, without number and without end. It is far too large to fear, and far too large to grasp, and so the mind, meeting it, simply lets go, and grows quiet, and rests. If the universe truly is infinite, then somewhere out there, past the edge of all our seeing, the great web winds on through endless dark, cradling endless worlds. And it may be that in that endlessness, there are other beginnings entirely, other universes, bubbles of space and time beyond our own, each with its own vast web, its own 2 trillion galaxies, its own quiet grains of sand. We cannot know. We can only wonder, softly, and let the wondering carry us gently down, the way a lullaby carries a child, not to be understood, but only to soothe. And there is a strange and gentle comfort hidden in that endlessness, if you let it drift through your quieting mind. For if the universe truly is infinite, if space goes on without end, filled everywhere with galaxies like ours, then something remarkable follows, softly, from the mathematics of the very large. In an endless universe, with endless worlds, every possible arrangement of things must happen not once, but again and again, without end. Which means that somewhere out there, unimaginably far beyond the edge of our sight, so far that its light will never, ever reach us, there may be another world much like this one. Another quiet room. Another soft dark night. Another small, warm, weary traveler, lying just as you are lying now, listening to a gentle voice, drifting towards sleep beneath the same vast and patient stars. Not you, and yet, in some soft way, a companion, out there in the endless dark, resting as you rest. You are not alone tonight, in the vastness. You never were. The universe is far too large, and far too full, for anything to be truly alone within it. Somewhere, always, in the endless dark, there is another light, another warmth, another quiet life drifting toward its rest. Let that gentle company hold you now, the soft, unseen fellowship of all the resting things, scattered across the endless dark, each one small, each one warm, each one held, as you are held, in the great and gentle night. And let it carry you down, softly, into sleep, among the countless quiet companions you will never see, all of you drifting, together, through the same vast and gentle dark. But let us return, now, from the very edge of everything, and ask a gentler question. How can we possibly know all this? How can such small creatures, on such a small world, have measured the size of the immeasurable heaven? The answer is one of the quietest and most beautiful stories there is. We have never left our own small corner of the cosmos. No ship of ours has ever traveled even to the nearest star. And yet, patiently, over centuries, by watching, and thinking, and measuring the faint light that falls upon us from the dark, we have learned to read the whole of it. We measure the tiny shifts in a star's position as the Earth swings around the Sun, and from that faint wobble, we learn its distance. We spread the light of a galaxy into its colors, and find them all shifted gently toward the red, stretched by the expansion of the universe as the light crossed the dark, and from that soft reddening, we learn how far away, and how long ago, that light began its journey. Step by patient step, from the nearest stars to the farthest galaxies, we have built a great ladder of distances, and climbed it, in our minds, all the way out to the edge of the observable universe. We have never gone there. And yet we know its shape. There is something deeply moving in that a creature small enough to hold a grain of sand should be able, only by looking, and thinking, and refusing to stop wondering, to measure the largest things there are. And it did not come all at once. It came slowly, over long centuries, one patient soul at a time. Let a little of that gentle story drift through your mind as you rest, for it is a story of quiet wonder, and it may soothe you like an old and well-loved tale. There was a time, not so very long ago, when people believed our galaxy was the whole of the universe, a single island of stars, with nothing but empty dark beyond. There was a time when the faint smudges we now know to be distant galaxies were thought to be only little clouds of gas within our own. The true scale of things was hidden, and the universe seemed small, and cozy, and close. And then, patiently, the veil began to lift. There was an astronomer, long ago, who spent his nights carefully counting the stars in every direction, trying to map the shape of our galaxy simply by tallying its lights, the first person ever to sketch the true form of the Milky Way from within it. There was a quiet, careful woman, working in an observatory a century ago, poring over photographic plates of a small companion galaxy, who noticed that a certain kind of star pulsed brighter and dimmer in a steady rhythm, and that the rhythm revealed the star's true brightness, and so, at last, its true distance. She had found the first rung of the great cosmic ladder, a way to measure the unmeasurable deep. Her name was Henrietta Leavitt, and though she was little celebrated in her own time, nearly everything we know about the size of the universe rests, in the end, upon her patient and careful eye. And with her method in hand, another astronomer turned the largest telescope of his day toward one of those faint smudges of light, the one in the constellation of Andromeda, and found within it those very same pulsing stars, and measured their distance, and discovered, to the astonishment of the world, that the smudge was not a little cloud within our galaxy at all. It was another galaxy entirely, unimaginably far away, a whole separate island of 100 billion suns. In a single night, the universe grew 1,000-fold larger than anyone had dreamed. Our galaxy was not the whole of creation. It was one island among countless others, adrift in a dark far vaster than anyone had imagined. And the same astronomer, looking farther, found something stranger still, that nearly all those distant galaxies were drifting away from us, their light stretched and reddened, and that the farther away they were, the faster they receded, as though the whole of space itself were quietly, gently expanding, carrying the galaxies apart like raisins in a slowly rising loaf. It was the first hint that the universe had a beginning, and a history, and a shape unfolding through time. Edwin Hubble was his name, and the great telescope in space that has shown us the deepest and most beautiful views of the cosmos now carries that name in his honor. And so it has gone, patient step by patient step, ever since. We built greater telescopes, on mountaintops and then above the air itself, and we gathered the light of ever fainter and farther things. We learned to map not just single galaxies, but millions of them at once, charting their positions across the sky and their distances into the deep, and when those great maps were finished, and we stepped back to look at them, we saw, for the very first time, the shape of the cosmic web itself. The threads, and the knots, and the great dark voids, revealed at last in our own patient charts, exactly as we have drifted through them tonight. We drew the map of the immeasurable heaven. And we did it all from home, from this one small world, by nothing but looking, and thinking, and refusing, ever, to stop wondering what lies out there in the dark. Let that quiet story settle over you like a blanket. For every vast thing we have touched tonight, some patient soul once sat in the cold and the dark, night after night, straining to understand it, and slowly, gently, did. We are a small and curious people, on a small and quiet world. But we have looked up, and we have wondered, and in the wondering, we have come to hold the whole of the universe softly in our minds. And now, having held it, you may let it go, and rest. And in the measuring, we have found that the universe is stranger, and larger in a different way, than we ever guessed. For most of what holds these great structures together, we cannot see at all. When we weigh the galaxies and the clusters by the pull of their gravity, we find that the stars and the glowing gas, everything that shines, make up only a small part of what is truly there. The rest is dark, unseen. Some vast, invisible substance, which we have named dark matter, drifts through and around every galaxy, 5 times more plentiful than all the shining stars, its gentle gravity the true scaffolding upon which the whole cosmic web is hung. The bright galaxies we have marveled at all night are only the glittering frost upon a far greater, unseen structure, beads of light, strung upon invisible threads. And there is stranger still. For the great voids are growing. The whole universe is expanding, every distant galaxy drifting slowly away from every other, and that expansion is not slowing down, as you might expect, but speeding up, pushed apart by something we understand even less, a gentle, patient pressure woven into empty space itself, which we have named, for want of any better word, dark energy. It is the largest thing of all, in a way, for it fills all of space, everywhere, evenly, and it is slowly, gently, carrying the great structures of the universe farther and farther apart, across the long ages to come. But none of that need trouble you tonight. The dark matter cradles the galaxies as gently as it always has. The dark energy carries them apart so slowly that in 1,000 human lifetimes the sky would scarcely change at all. The great web holds its shape, patient and vast, exactly as it has since before the earth was born. Let the unseen things be. They are not threats in the dark. They are only the quiet, invisible arms that have been holding the whole of everything together, all along, gently, without ever being seen, much as you, tonight, are being held by the soft and unseen weight of your own tiredness, drawn down, kindly, toward rest. Before we turn for home, let us linger a little longer out here, at the very largest scales, and meet a few more of the greatest things there are, for the universe keeps a few final wonders for those patient enough to drift this far. we spoke of the Great Walls of galaxies, and of the Sloan Great Wall, 1 billion light-years long. But there may be something larger still. Far out in the dark, astronomers have traced a faint and controversial pattern in the light of distant, dying stars, the brief, brilliant flashes we call gamma-ray bursts, and found them gathered, it seems, into a structure so vast it strains even the definitions of the word. They have called it the Hercules Corona Borealis Great Wall. And if it is truly there, if it is truly a single structure, then it may stretch across as much as 10 billion light-years of space, nearly a quarter of the way across the entire observable universe. A single arrangement of galaxies so enormous that light itself, crossing it from end to end, would need 10 billion years, nearly the whole age of the Earth's own Sunday. It sits at the very edge of what we can measure, and at the very edge of what the mind can hold. Let it drift there, softly, at the edge of thought, too large to grasp, too far to fear. And closer to home, though still unimaginably far, there is a place in the sky that pulls. For our whole galaxy, and our whole local group, and thousands of other galaxies besides, are all drifting, slowly, in the same direction, all being drawn toward a single region of the sky, hidden behind the bright band of our own Milky Way. We cannot see clearly what lies there, but we can feel its pull, in the gentle motion of 1,000 galaxies falling toward it. We have named it, simply, the Great Attractor, a vast concentration of mass, the heart of our supercluster, drawing us slowly in across the dark. We are falling toward it, even now, at a speed that would carry you around the entire Earth in a matter of minutes, and yet it is so far away that we will never arrive, not in the lifetime of the Sun, not in 100 lifetimes of the Sun. We are simply drifting, gently, in its direction, carried along on the slow currents of the cosmos, as we have been since before the Earth was born. There is a deep peace in that, if you let it settle over you. We are not still. We are always moving, the Earth turning, the Earth circling the Sun sweeping around the galaxy drifting toward the Great Attractor, the whole local group flowing along the tendrils of Laniakea toward the deep. You are being carried, on motion within motion within motion, through the vast dark, and you have never once felt it, and you never will. It is the gentlest journey there is. Let it carry you now, as it always has, softly, toward sleep. And there is one more kind of giant we should meet before we turn for home, not the largest in size, perhaps, but the greatest in sheer power. For at the hearts of some distant galaxies, in the young and far-off universe, there blaze the quasars, single points of light, no larger than our own solar system, and yet shining more brightly than an entire galaxy of hundreds of billions of stars. A quasar is the blazing heart of a galaxy where a giant black hole is feeding, and the matter falling into it is torn and heated until it glows with a fury beyond all imagining, pouring out more light in a moment than our Sun will give in its entire 10 billion year life. Some of the most distant points of light we can see are these quasars, blazing across nearly the whole width of the observable universe, their light so old that it left them when the universe itself was young, long before the Earth, long before the Sun, arriving only now, faint and ancient, at the edge of our patient telescopes. And what will become of all of it, these great structures, in the long ages to come? The gentle answer is that they will drift apart. For the dark energy we spoke of is patient and relentless, and across the long billions of years ahead, it will carry the great superclusters farther and farther from one another, until at last, in the deep future, the distant galaxies will have drifted so far away that their light can no longer reach us at all. The sky, in that far-off time, will grow lonelier and quieter, and the great web will stretch thin, its bright threads drifting slowly apart into the dark. But that is a story for 100 billion years from now, and there is no sorrow in it tonight. Tonight, the web still shines, whole and vast and beautiful, exactly as it has since before the Earth was born. And you are here to know it, and to wonder at it, in the one brief and precious season when it can still be seen. Rest here a while longer, in the deep quiet at the edge of everything, and let a few more gentle wonders drift through your softening mind. For size is not the only vastness we have touched tonight. Everywhere we have traveled, another kind of bigness has been drifting quietly alongside us, the vastness not of space, but of time. For to see far, in this universe, is to see long ago. The light of Andromeda that meets your eye is 2.5 million years old. The light of the great clusters left them tens of millions of years before the first humans walked the Earth. And the light of the most distant galaxies has been traveling for billions of years, since before the Sun was born, since before the Earth was so much as a whisper of dust. When you look out into the deep, you are not seeing the universe as it is. You are seeing it as it was, each thing shown to you at a different age, the near things young, the far things ancient, all their old light arriving together, tonight, in the same quiet moment, at the same small and patient eye. The whole sky is a great gallery of the past, and to look up is to look back, gently, across the ages. And the ages themselves are vast beyond holding, just as the distances are. Our sun has burned for 4.5 billion years. Our galaxy has turned for more than 13 billion. The oldest light of all, the first faint glow of the young cosmos, has been traveling for nearly 14 billion years to reach us. And the future stretches longer still, the small red stars will burn on not for billions, but for trillions of years, long after our sun has faded to a cold dark ember. Time, out here, is as immeasurable as space. And you, resting in this one small quiet moment, are a brief and precious spark of warmth within it, here for the space of a single breath, in a universe that breathes across the ages. There is no sadness in that. Only the gentle preciousness of a warm thing in a vast cool dark, glad simply to be here, and to have seen. And here is the strangest and most beautiful wonder of all, to carry with you as you drift. For the very largest things we have met tonight, and the very smallest, are woven of the same quiet magic. We rose tonight from a grain of sand, up through worlds and stars and galaxies, out to the great cosmic web that holds the whole of everything. But we could just as easily have gone the other way, down, into the grain of sand, into the atoms that compose it, into the tiny, humming, mostly empty spaces within each one, where fainter and fainter things drift in patterns as vast and strange, in their own small way, as any galaxy. The very small is as deep as the very large. And the patterns echo one another, across all the scales there are, the branching web of galaxies, and the branching web of a single living cell, the great swirling disk of a galaxy, and the tiny swirling storm of an atom, the vast and the intimate, endlessly reflecting one another, as though the universe had only one or two ideas, and drew them, lovingly, at every size there is. You are the meeting place of those two vastnesses. Poised, exactly, between the unimaginably large and the unimaginably small. There are as many atoms in your resting body as there are stars in tens of thousands of galaxies. You are, yourself, a kind of cosmos, vast beyond counting to the tiny things that compose you, and yet a mere warm mote to the great web that holds you. And in you, tonight, those two endless directions meet, and know one another, and rest. The universe looking outward at itself, through one small pair of quiet, closing eyes. Let that gentle mystery hold you now, and ask nothing of you. You do not need to understand it. You need only to rest within it, softly, a small warm meeting place of the vast and the tiny, held in the deep and patient dark. And here is a soft and surprising truth, to rest in as you drift. For all the countless things we have met tonight, the trillions of galaxies, the uncountable stars, the great walls and webs of light, the universe is, overwhelmingly, empty. Gentle, quiet, peaceful emptiness, in almost every direction, almost everywhere. Think of it. Between the Earth and the Moon, you could fit every other planet in the solar system, side by side, with room left over, and still, almost all of that space is empty. Between our Sun and the very nearest other star, there are for light-years of near-perfect emptiness, so vast that if you shrank the Sun to the size of an orange, the next star would be another orange, thousands of miles away, with nothing but silent dark between them. The stars in a galaxy are so far apart that when two galaxies collide, as ours one day will with Andromeda, almost no stars ever strike one another, they simply drift past, through all that emptiness, like two clouds of dust mingling in a vast dark room. And between the galaxies themselves lie the great voids, hundreds of millions of light-years of gentle nothing. If you gathered up all the stars, and all the worlds, and all the glowing gas in all the galaxies, and spread it evenly through the whole of space, the universe would be emptier than the finest laboratory vacuum we have ever made, a few lonely atoms drifting in each great room of nothing. The bright and crowded places, the galaxies and clusters and webs, are only the thinnest sparkling frost upon an ocean of gentle, silent, peaceful dark. And there is such rest in that, if you let it hold you. For emptiness, out here, is not loneliness. It is spaciousness. It is room. It is the soft, dark, quiet vastness in which all the bright things drift, unhurried, undisturbed, with all the room in the world. The universe is not crowded, not frantic, not pressing in. It is open and gentle and still, mostly a great and peaceful quiet, in which a few warm lights drift slowly through the dark. Let that spaciousness settle into you now. Let your own mind grow that open and that quiet and that still, a few soft thoughts, drifting through a great and gentle dark, with all the room in the world to rest. And in all that vast and gentle emptiness, on one small world, there is you. Once, a small spacecraft, far out past the great planets, turned its camera back toward home and took a photograph of the Earth, and in that image, our whole world, everything and everyone we have ever known, was nothing but a single, tiny point of pale blue light, smaller than a speck of dust, adrift in a wide sunbeam in the dark. A pale blue dot. Every person who has ever lived, every king and every child, every love and every sorrow, every life in all of history, all of it, on that one tiny mote of light, hanging in the vast and gentle dark. And there is nothing frightening in that smallness. There is only a deep and gentle peace. For to be so small, in something so vast, is to be relieved of a great weight. The universe does not ask you to be large. It does not ask you to hold it up, or to carry it, or to be anything at all but what you are, one small, warm, breathing life, resting for a while on a pale blue dot, beneath a sky full of drifting stars. You may set down every heavy thing tonight. Against the great and gentle vastness, it is also light, and so small, and so gently held. And now, before we turn for home, let us rest for a moment in the gentlest wonder of all. Not the size of the great things, nor the depth of the great ages, but the simple, astonishing fact that any of it is known at all. Think of it, softly. On one small world, around one ordinary star, in one quiet arm of one galaxy among 2 trillion, there arose a kind of creature that could look up. That could wonder. That could gather the faint and ancient light falling upon it out of the dark, and in that light, patiently, over long centuries, read the whole shape of the cosmos. We have never left our own small shore. And yet we have measured the immeasurable heaven. We have weighed the galaxies, and traced the great web, and counted, near enough, the very grains of light out to the edge of the observable universe. We have looked upon things 1 billion light-years wide, and things 10 billion years old, and held them, however briefly, in a mind small enough to fit inside a single quiet skull. There is something almost unbearably tender in that. For most of its long history, the universe unfolded all its grandeur in silence, with no one there to see it. The great stars blazed and died unwitnessed. The galaxies turned unseen. The web spread through the dark with no eye to behold it, no mind to know that it was beautiful, or vast, or there at all. And then, on one small blue world, out of the very stardust the great story had made, there arose beings who could look back along the whole of it, and know it, and love it. You are one of those beings. Through your eyes, and your wondering mind, the universe has found a way to look upon itself, and to marvel at its own vast and gentle beauty. That is what you are, resting here in the dark. Not a small thing, lost in an enormous cosmos. But the cosmos itself, gathered for a little while into something that can wonder. The universe, grown quiet enough, and warm enough, and awake enough, to know how large it is, and then to close its eyes, gently, and rest. When you drift toward sleep tonight, it is not something separate from the stars that sleeps. It is the stars themselves, folded into a shape that can dream, laying down their long day, and resting in their own deep dark. So carry no smallness into the night as a sorrow. Carry it as a comfort. Yes, you are tiny beyond measure against the great cosmic web. And yes, you are one of the rarest and most precious things there is, a piece of the universe that has woken up, and looked around, and understood. Both are true. And both may rest, now, together, in the gentle dark. You have seen the whole of everything tonight. You have carried the immeasurable heaven in your mind. And now you may set it gently down, and let it go, and sleep, held safe within the very vastness you have marveled at. And consider, softly, how rare and precious this quiet moment truly is. Out of 2 trillion galaxies, and all their hundreds of billions of stars, and all their uncounted worlds, so many that we have found almost nowhere else, in all our searching, where a single quiet mind can lie in the dark and know that it is alive, out of all of that vastness, here is this. A warm room. A soft place to rest. A living, breathing, wandering being, safe and unhurried, drifting toward sleep beneath the stars. It may be one of the rarest things in all the universe, not the giant stars, not the great galaxies, not the immeasurable web, but this. A small, warm, conscious life, at peace, in the dark, for one quiet night. You woke this morning, and moved through your day, and now you are here, at the end of it, safe, and warm, and at rest. That is no small thing. Against the vast cold dark we have traveled through tonight, a single warm and peaceful moment like this one is a treasure beyond all the giant stars, a small, bright, gentle miracle, easily overlooked, and more precious than all the vastness put together. So rest in it fully. Let yourself have it completely. This soft, warm, quiet moment, safe in the dark, is yours, and it is rare, and it is enough. There is nowhere in all the 2 trillion galaxies you would rather be than here, gently letting go, drifting softly down into sleep. So now let us begin the long, slow journey home. We have climbed all the way out, from a grain of sand to the edge of everything. Now let us drift gently back down again, step by step, growing smaller and closer and more familiar with each one, the way you might walk slowly back through the rooms of a great house at the end of a long day, turning out the lights one by one, until you reach, at last, your own quiet bed. Let us begin at the very top, with the whole of it. The observable universe. 2 trillion galaxies, 93 billion light-years across, everything there is to see, all at once. Hold it, softly, one last time, the great sphere of everything, and then let it go, and begin, gently, to fall back inward. Down, first, to the great cosmic web. The largest structure there is. The glowing threads, the bright knots, the vast dark voids. The whole of everything, arranged like the branching of a river, like the veins of a leaf, like the soft grey web of a quiet mind. Let it drift past you as you descend, glowing and vast, and let it go. Down, now, to our home supercluster. To Laniakea, the immeasurable heaven. 500 million light-years of branching tendrils, 100,000 galaxies flowing slowly along its currents toward the deep. Our own galaxy, one dim mote on its outermost strand. Let it turn slowly beneath you as you fall gently inward, and let it go. Down to the great cluster of galaxies. 1,000 wheels of light, 1,000 Milky Ways, turning together in the dark, wrapped in their unseen web of gas and shadow. Let it drift past and grow small behind you, and let it go. Breathe in, slowly, and out. And notice how gently we are falling, how softly the great things are drifting away above us, one by one, as we sink back down toward home. There is no effort in this falling. No fear. Only a slow and easy letting go, layer by layer, as the vastness gently closes up behind us, and home draws slowly near. Each breath carries us a little farther down. Each breath brings us a little closer to rest. Let go, and fall, and drift, softly, down. Down, now, to our own local group. Our little island of galaxies in the dark. Andromeda, the great soft whisper of light, drifting slowly toward us across 2.5 million years. Our scattering of small dim dwarf galaxies, keeping their quiet company. Home is growing near again. Let it hold you for a moment, and then drift on and down. Down to our own galaxy. The Milky Way. The great turning wheel of 400 billion suns, 100,000 light-years across, its soft light arching over every night that has ever been. This is our home. We are inside it now, sinking gently down through its spiral arms, past its clusters and its glowing clouds, back toward one quiet, ordinary neighborhood, far out along one gentle arm. Let its slow, vast turning cradle you as we descend. Down, now, past the great glowing nebulae, those light-years deep clouds of rose and gold and teal, where the stars are quietly born. Down past the ancient globular clusters, those great golden swarms of 100,000 ancient suns. Down past the little families of young stars, drifting together through the dark. Smaller, and closer, and warmer, with every gentle step. Down, at last, to a single star. Not a hypergiant now, not a swollen red titan, but one small, steady, ordinary yellow star, burning quietly in a quiet arm of the galaxy. Our star. The sun. The warmth that has held every day of your life. Let its gentle light draw you the last of the way home. Let us slow, hear, and breathe, as we come near the end of the long way home. We have fallen so far, and so gently, from the edge of everything, all the way back to our own small star. There is no hurry now. We are almost home. Almost to the soft place where you are lying, in the quiet dark. So breathe in, slowly, and let it go. And feel how close and warm the world is growing, after the great cold vastness of the deep. The endless dark is behind us now. Ahead lies only home, the small blue world, the quiet room, the soft place where you rest. Breathe in, once more, and let it go. And with each breath, let yourself grow heavier, and softer, and nearer to sleep. There is nothing left on this journey but to arrive, gently, at rest. Nothing left to see, nothing left to hold, nowhere left to go but down, and in, and home, into the warm and quiet dark. Let the last of the great distances fall away behind you. Let the galaxies, and the clusters, and the immeasurable web all drift softly out of mind. They will turn on without you, patient and vast, keeping their long watch through the night. You need not hold them any longer. You are almost home. You are almost asleep. Let the gentle light of our small star carry you the last, soft distance down. And down, now, past the sun, to a small blue world, turning slowly in its light. Our world. The Earth. The one warm, living world we have ever known, hanging like a blue jewel in the dark, wrapped in its thin soft veil of air and cloud. Down we drift toward it, gently, the whole vast cold journey behind us now, coming home at last to the one small place in all the universe where you belong. Down through the thin blue air. Down through the soft grey clouds, drifting slow beneath us. Down toward the darkened half of the world, where the night has come, and the cities glimmer faint and gold, and the great dark oceans lie still beneath the stars. Down toward one land, and one quiet place upon it, where the lights are low, and the night is deep, and someone is lying, warm and still, and nearly asleep. Down, past the roof, and the walls, into this quiet room. Into the soft and gentle dark where you are resting. All the way home, from the very edge of everything, back to this one small, warm, safe place, the soft place where you are lying, the gentle weight of your own resting body, the slow and easy tide of your own quiet breathing, in and out, in the dark. Home. All the way home. There is nowhere left to travel now. There is nothing left to do but rest. And down, at last, all the way down, to a single grain of sand, resting once more in the soft center of your open palm. Small. Ordinary. Complete. The very thing we began with, a whole universe ago. And now, having traveled to the edge of everything and back, look upon that grain of sand once more, and see how it has changed, though it has not changed at all. For now you know what is inside it, the atoms forged in the hearts of giant stars, the same stardust that makes the galaxies and the great web anew. And now you know what is around it, the world, and the sun, and the wheel of the galaxy, and the local group, and Laniakea, and the immeasurable web, layer upon layer upon layer, all the way out to the 2 trillion galaxies at the edge of sight. The grain of sand has not moved. It rests just where it did, in the soft center of your palm. But you have wrapped the whole universe around it now, gently, in your mind, and you have found that the smallest thing and the largest thing are held in the very same quiet wonder, and made of the very same patient stardust, and cradled in the very same gentle dark. That is the gift of the journey we have made tonight. Not to feel small, though you are small, but to feel how the small and the vast are woven together, seamlessly, tenderly, all one single thing. The grain of sand, and the cosmic web. The quiet breath, and the 2 trillion galaxies. Your one small resting life, and the whole of everything. All one. All held. All made of the same soft light, drifting in the same great dark. Do you feel how far we have traveled, and how gently we have come home? We have held the whole of everything in our minds tonight, 2 trillion galaxies, the immeasurable web, the endless dark, and we have come all the way back, softly, to a single grain of sand, and a single quiet breath, and a single small and precious life, resting in the dark. And both are true at once. You are smaller than a mote of dust upon the great cosmic web. And you are the whole of it, gathered into something that can wonder, and love, and rest. There is no contradiction in it. There is only the gentle, holding truth, that you are small, and safe, and part of something beyond all imagining, and that tonight, you may simply lay it all down, and sleep. And here is one last gentle truth, to carry down with you into sleep, perhaps the tenderest of all. For all the great things we have traveled to tonight, out there in the vast dark, are not truly separate from you. They are, quite literally, what you are made of. Think of the giant stars we visited, the red supergiants and the hypergiants, blazing enormous in the dark. When such stars die, in their great supernova flashes, they forge the heavier elements in their final fire, and fling them out across space, the carbon, the oxygen, the iron, the calcium, all the richer atoms that did not exist in the young universe. And those scattered atoms drift through the great clouds, and gather into new stars, and new worlds, and, on at least one small world, into living things. The iron that reddens your blood was forged in the heart of a dying star. The calcium in your bones was made in a stellar fire and scattered by a stellar death. The very oxygen you are breathing now, slowly, in the dark, was born in the belly of some great star that lived and died long before the sun. You are not separate from the giants of the sky. You are made of their ashes. You are stardust, gathered for a little while into a shape that can breathe, and wonder, and rest. So when we traveled outward tonight, past the stars and the clouds and the galaxies, we were not visiting strangers. We were visiting the great furnaces that made us, the vast slow cradles from which we came. Every atom in your resting body was forged out there, in the largest things there are, and drifted across unimaginable distances and unimaginable ages, to gather, at last, into you, into this one warm, quiet, breathing life, lying here in the dark tonight. You are the universe's own stardust, come home. You are the largest things there are, gathered small, and grown gentle, and laid down softly to sleep. Let that hold you now, warm and complete. You are not a small thing gazing up at a vast and distant cosmos. You are the vast cosmos itself, gathered into something small enough to rest. And now, made of stars, held by the whole great gentle web of everything, you may lay it all down, and let go, and sleep. So let us rest here now, for a long while, in the quiet. There is no more journey to make. There is no more distance to cross. There is only the resting, and the breathing, and the soft dark all around, and the gentle knowledge that you are held, and safe, and small, and part of the whole of everything. And you do not have to try to fall asleep. That is worth knowing, softly, as you rest. Sleep is not something you must reach for, or work at, or chase. It comes on its own, gently, when you stop reaching, the way the stars appear on their own when you stop straining to see them, simply arriving in the darkening sky. So do not try. Do not chase it. Simply lie here, in the warm dark, and let the breathing come and go, and let the thoughts drift by, and let yourself be held. And sleep will find you, in its own good time, as surely as the dawn finds the far side of the turning world. There is nothing you need to do to make it come. There is nothing you need to do at all. Only rest, and drift, and wait, gently, in the dark, and let it come to you. If your mind wanders back to the day, or forward to tomorrow, that is all right. Minds wander, the way light wanders across the vast dark. Each time you notice, simply come back, softly, without any effort, to the slow tide of your breathing, and the gentle weight of your resting body, and the deep quiet all around. In and out. Like the turning of a galaxy. Like the drifting of the great slow web. There is nowhere you need to be but here, and nothing you need to do but breathe, and rest. Let your body grow heavy now. Heavier than it has been all day. Feel the weight of it, sinking down into the place where you are lying, the way a stone sinks slowly through deep and quiet water, in no hurry, meeting no resistance, simply letting go and drifting down. Feel the weight of your head, resting. Feel the weight of your shoulders, softening, letting go of the day they have carried. Feel your arms grow heavy, and your hands, and every finger, growing still. There is nothing they need to hold tonight. Let them rest. And let the softness spread, slowly, through the whole of your body, the way warmth spreads through still water. Let it begin at the top of your head, and let your scalp grow soft, and your brow smooth and untroubled. Let the small muscles around your eyes let go, and your eyes grow heavy and still in their rest. Let your jaw soften and unclench, and your lips part, just slightly, as all the holding of the day drains gently away from your face. Let it flow down through your neck, softening, and across your shoulders, letting them drop, and settle, and sink. Feel your chest rise and fall, slow and easy, with each gentle breath. Let your back soften against the place where you are lying. Let your belly grow soft and warm and still. There is nothing to hold in, nothing to hold up, nothing to hold at all. Let it all simply rest. And let the warmth flow down through your hips and your legs, growing heavy and loose and still. Down through your knees. Down through your calves. All the way down to your feet and your toes, until every last part of you, from the crown of your head to the soles of your feet, has grown soft and heavy and warm and still, resting completely, held completely, let go completely, into the gentle dark. There. Your whole body, at rest. Nothing left to do. Nothing left to hold. Only the slow, soft breathing, and the gentle weight of a body fully at ease, sinking softly down toward sleep. Let your breathing slow, all on its own. You need not guide it. Only notice it, soft and slow, like a gentle tide going in, and out, and in again, on some warm and distant shore. Each breath a little slower than the last. Each breath carrying you a little farther out, a little deeper down, a little closer to sleep. In and out. In and out. Like the slow turning of a galaxy. Like the gentle drift of the great web through the dark. And let your thoughts grow slow, and soft, and dim. If a thought should drift across your mind, of the day just past, of the day to come, of anything at all, you need not follow it, and you need not push it away. Let it drift on by, small and quiet, the way a distant galaxy drifts through the deep dark, in no hurry, harming nothing, asking nothing of you. And let it go. And return, gently, to the slow tide of your breathing, and the soft weight of your resting body, and the deep and patient quiet all around. Feel how far away the day is now. All its noise, all its hurry, all the small and heavy things it asked you to carry, all of it is drifting away, growing smaller and dimmer, like a shore seen from a boat that is slowly, gently drifting out to sea. You do not have to carry any of it into the night. You may set it all down, here, on the soft dark water, and watch it drift away, and let yourself be carried, light and empty and free, out into the deep and gentle dark. There is nothing you need to do now. Nothing to solve. Nowhere to be. The great universe is turning quietly all around you, as it always has, keeping its long and patient watch. The galaxies are drifting along their slow and ancient currents. The stars are burning soft and far away. The great web holds its shape, vast and gentle, cradling the whole of everything, and cradling you, one small warm life, resting in the dark. You may let go completely. Everything is held. Everything is safe. Everything is exactly as it should be. Let the darkness be gentle around you now. There is nothing in it to fear. The dark is where the stars are born, and where the galaxies drift, and where all things, in the end, come home to rest. The dark is old, and patient, and kind. Let it hold you, the way the deep of space holds every star, softly, completely, without effort, without end. Let it carry you down, slow and easy, into the deep still water of sleep. Breathe in, slowly. And let it go. And with it, let go of a little more of the day. Breathe in, once more. And let it go. And sink a little deeper into the warm and holding dark. You are so far from the day now. So deep in the quiet. Your body is heavy and still. Your breathing is slow and soft. And the whole vast, turning universe, all 2 trillion galaxies of it, all the immeasurable web of light, has folded itself, gently, into this one small, quiet moment, where there is nothing left to do but rest, and breathe, and drift, and sleep. Let us stay here now, in this quiet, for a long, long while. There is nowhere else to be. There is nothing else to do. There is only the soft dark, and the slow breathing, and the gentle drift, deeper and deeper, into rest. And as you drift, let the worries of your small life grow soft and far away. For you have seen tonight how vast the universe is, and how small its greatest things become against the whole. And your worries, too, the things that weighed upon you today, the things you carried, the things that seemed so large, they too are small, against the great and gentle dark. Not unimportant. Never that. But small enough to set down, for one night. Small enough to let go of, and to rest from, while the galaxies turn and the stars burn softly on. Whatever troubled you today can wait for the morning. Tonight, it may drift away, out onto the dark water, and grow small, and dim, and leave you in peace. For think of all we have seen tonight, and let it gently loosen the grip of the day. The sun that holds 1,000,000 Earths, and is itself a small star. The giant that could swallow the whole solar system, and is itself only a mote against the galaxy. The galaxy of 400 billion suns, and it only one of 2 trillion. Layer upon layer of vastness, each one dwarfing the last, out to the immeasurable web. And somewhere within all of it, so small it cannot be found, is whatever it was that weighed upon you today. It has not vanished, but it has found its true size. And its true size, against the great and gentle cosmos, is very small indeed, small enough to hold in an open hand, and then to set gently down, and let the night carry away. This is the quiet gift the great things give us, not to make our troubles meaningless, but to make them light. To remind us that we are held by something so vast, and so patient, and so gentle, that no worry of a single day could ever be too heavy for it to carry for us, while we rest. So hand your cares to the night, and to the turning galaxies, and to the great slow web that has held far heavier things than these for billions of years without the slightest strain. They can hold your small worries easily, all through the night. And in the morning, if you still want them back, they will be there. But for now, let them go. Let the vastness carry them. And rest. Feel how gently you are held. Beneath you, the earth, vast and solid and turning slowly, carrying you through the night. Around the earth, the deep warm dark of space. Around the space, the great wheel of our galaxy, 400 billion suns, turning slow. Around the galaxy, the local group, and Laniakea, and the great cosmic web, cradling everything there is. Layer upon layer of holding, all the way out to the edge of everything, and you, at the center of all of it, small, and warm, and safe, and drifting now, softly, towards sleep. Breathe in, slowly. And out. And let go a little more. There is nothing you must do. There is nowhere you must be. The universe took 14 billion years, and 2 trillion galaxies, and all the vast unfolding of space and time, to arrive at this one quiet moment, you, resting here, in the gentle dark. And the moment asks nothing of you at all. Only that you let yourself sink into it, softly, and rest. Let your thoughts grow slower now. And softer. And farther apart. Like stars appearing one by one in a darkening sky, and then fading, one by one, as sleep draws near. There is no need to hold on to any of them. Let each one drift, and dim, and go. If you are still awake, that is all right. There is no hurry, and nothing to get right. Simply rest here, in the quiet dark, and breathe, and let the gentle weight of the whole universe settle softly over you, like a warm and heavy blanket drawn up in the night. Sleep will come, in its own time, as gently as the dawn. You need only wait for it, here, in the soft and holding dark. Drift now. Drift gently. Drift deep. You are a small warm light in a vast and gentle dark. You are held by the same soft gravity that holds the galaxies. You are woven into the same great web that cradles the whole of everything. And you are safe, and you are small, and you are exactly where you are meant to be, here, in the quiet, at the end of the long day, drifting slowly down into a deep and peaceful sleep. Rest now. And breathe. And let go. There is nothing more to do, and nowhere else to be. Only the soft dark, and the slow tide of your breathing, and the gentle turning of the stars, keeping their long and patient watch over you, as they always have, and always will. Sleep now. And drift among the stars. And let the vast, kind, gentle universe carry you, softly, all the way down, into a long and peaceful rest. And if you are still here, still awake, still softly listening, that is all right. There is nowhere else to be, and all the time in the world. Let us simply rest here together, in the quiet, and let the night carry us both gently onward. Breathe in, slowly, and let it go. Feel the warm weight of your body, resting. Feel the soft dark all around you. Feel how held you are, how safe, how small, and how gently the whole great universe cradles you through the night. There is nothing to do now. There is nowhere to be. There is only this breath, and the next, and the slow, quiet drift down into sleep. Let your mind grow soft, and slow, and still. Like a great galaxy, turning once in 100 million years. Like the deep, dark voids, resting silent between the stars. Like the whole vast web of light, holding perfectly still in the endless dark. You are a small warm light. And the universe is your home. And it is night, and you are tired, and it is time, at last, to rest. Let the stars keep their watch. Let the galaxies turn. Let the great web hold the whole of everything, gently, as it always has. You need not hold any of it. You may let it all go, and simply rest, here, in the soft and holding dark. Breathe in, and out. And a little deeper. Breathe in, and out. And softer still. Drift now. Drift gently. Drift deep. Down, and down, and down, into the quiet, into the warm, into the deep and peaceful dark, where there is nothing at all to do but sleep. Rest now, small traveler. You have journeyed to the edge of everything tonight, and come safely home again. Now let the journey end, here, in the dark, in the quiet, in the gentle arms of a universe that has held you, softly, all along. Sleep. And rest. And drift among the stars. And let the long, kind night carry you all the way down, into a deep, and peaceful, and dreamless sleep. And as you sleep, the great universe keeps its watch. You need do nothing now. You may let go completely, and still, all through the night, the vast and gentle cosmos will turn on around you, exactly as it always has. Far overhead, beyond the roof, beyond the clouds, the stars are wheeling slowly across the dark, as they have every night of your life, and every night before you were born. The great wheel of our galaxy is turning, patient and vast, carrying you and the whole sleeping Earth along on its long, slow circle. Andromeda is drifting nearer, a fraction of a fraction closer than when you closed your eyes. The great web holds its shape, gentle and immense, cradling the whole of everything through the dark. None of it asks anything of you. All of it simply holds you, and turns, and keeps its long and patient watch, while you rest. So rest deeply now. You are safe. You are held. You are small, and precious, and made of stars, and exactly where you are meant to be. The whole vast, gentle, turning universe has you, and will not let you fall. Let each breath grow softer than the last. Let each thought grow dimmer and farther away, until they fade, like the last stars fading at the coming of the dawn. There is nothing left to do. Nothing left to hold. Nowhere left to be but here, in the warm and quiet dark, drifting, softly, deeper and deeper into sleep. Breathe in and out. And let go. Breathe in and out. And sink a little deeper. And rest now, small traveler. Rest and drift and sleep. The stars will keep their watch. The galaxies will turn. And the great, kind, gentle universe will hold you, softly, all through the long and peaceful night, until the morning comes again. Good night. Sleep well. And drift, gently, among the stars.